The end of physical media for consoles, anyway, is very much upon us. Have you guys have all heard probably by now, PlayStation will be discontinuing making physical copies starting in January of 2028. We're going to read through the blog, some of the reactions to it, and then a little bit of what other companies like doing, namely Microsoft, and, you know, where we stand. So PlayStation put out this blog. Physical disc productions ending in January 2028 for new games releasing on PlayStation consoles. In response to shifting trends and consumer preferences, new games will be released on the PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital formats only. Now, it is no secret that I would say the vast majority of people buy their games digital. You know, people don't want to take out the disc, load it in. Now, I still buy almost all physical for my Switch, even though it is, I would say, a little bit less convenient, but they're small packages, and I generally buy them for games, and for my other consoles, I only buy physicals for games I really like. So, you know, a company that I really like, Vanillaware being one of them, I pretty much buy all their games physical, because I really like that company. But, you know, it is a shame that we're going to be moving away from it. For a lot of people, it's a good way to save money. I would buy some physical copies as well for games that I know some of my friends may want to play, so that they could play it later, because I could lend it to them. It would help, you know, essentially be a little bit more affordable. And a lot of times you can find deals online on eBay to get used games. So this is kind of nipping that in the bud. It's really shitty. It sucks. I hate it. But it is what it is. You know, most people do play digital. I'm gonna be honest. I would say like 90% of my games are digital. I have a huge amount of games. The Switch is like the only one where I only have like a couple digital, but they're for the most part physical because they're very small packages, so I actually don't mind having them. But, you know, I don't buy that many. I only buy their first party titles, so even then the clutter is not that bad. If it was more, I probably wouldn't keep buying them the way I do. Plus, their storage options, it cuts down on storage. I think that's mostly why I did it too, to be honest. Because their storage options are a little bit more demanding because they're a smaller memory. So that's why I do it. And I don't see Nintendo going away from it. But yeah, for these consoles, it does really suck. And it's cutting out the middleman. A lot of people like having like ownership of having the disc, seeing the game, things like that. So, you know, it is a shame that we will be slowly going away towards that. But we couldn't, I mean, I'm going to be honest, I saw this all coming. And the part of putting it on like a digital platform means that there's a chance that it could go away. And in this blog, they go into how they're discontinuing the PS Vita store and the PlayStation 3 store on the next page, which we can read a little bit of. But yeah, I mean, you know, you're kind of at the whims of all the digital shops, which we all are aware of. If you purchase these games on these digital platforms, you are aware, or you kind of like innately get the idea that there is a chance that it can just go away. It's not there forever. Steam, though, is for PlayStation to try to essentially go to a digital platform. I don't know how they can compete with Steam, because the cost for consoles are so fucking, I mean, they're not too bad now. I built a cheap PC for about $1,000 for somebody, but the cost for consoles is getting up there. In a matter of time, when they move to the next consoles, it's not going to be cheap. We're looking PC prices. We're looking in the grand. I would say easy. It'd be $1,000. I'd be surprised if it was less, with the way that all this fucking AI shit is pushing things, and customer demands and memory costs and all these fucking hardware issues. Storage issues is also becoming a problem. Like I think a 2 terabyte drive or NVMe was pretty, or SSD, I guess, or no NVMe was super pricey. So yeah, it is getting fucked. I mean, you know, I could go on for this for a while, but let's continue reading. Consumer preferences and broader entertainment industry continue to shift away from physical discs to digital. Physical game production for all new games releasing on PlayStation consoles will be discontinued starting January 2028. I mean, that's really the gist of it. There's some more shit in here. We'll read a little bit more. Following this date, new games will be available on the PlayStation stores and in retailers in digital format only. This transition has no impact in games that are already released or will be releasing prior to January 2028 in disc format. this natural direction for Sony Interactive Entertainment to adopt consumer trends as a general preference for digital media significantly outpaces physical discs. Yeah. No shit. I mean, but it's not really the point. You really do fuck the little guy. When I had a little bit less money, I would definitely be looking for, cheaper options to be able to buy these titles. You could buy them on used from GameStop or any of these other little brick and mortar stores. I used to go to like a local buy and sell used place for games and get them for a bit cheaper for presents too, because they didn't really need the new one, and I wasn't like I was a little bit more strapped for cash, so that's nice. Or you don't want to spend, you want to get somebody a game, or you don't want to spend $80 or $70, for some of these games. $80 is what we're going to. They're already there for some. I think, it's just getting rough. This transition will enable us to align more closely to how most of our community prefers to access and play their games today. Will they cut down the costs? No. So shut the fuck up. Thank you for the favor. Thank you. No, it's to save fucking cost. Get the fuck out of here, bro. We'll continue to prioritize our resources to drive innovations in how players can access games and provide choices as to where players prefer to purchase new games, whether it's at retailers or at PlayStation Store. We remain committed to delivering a world-class gaming experience to our fans, and we thank you for your continued support. Very sweet. Thank you. Of course. Fuck you. Let's look at the little blog. Sorry, guys. All right. Maybe I'm being a little much, okay? An update on PlayStation Store and PS3 and PS Vita. Changes start this year in select markets following the global changes in 2027. After nearly 2 decades of supporting the PlayStation 3 console generation, we wanted to let you know we will be closing the PlayStation Store on PS3 as well as PS Vita. PlayStation Store and PS3 are closed in select markets starting this year, followed by global closure for PS3 and PS Vita next year. So yeah, in 2027, I mean, that's really it. They have an outline of when you can expect it. Nicaragua, Honduras, Mexico to August 2026. So they're just done. They're cooked. Latin America, Middle Eastern country, PlayStation will be closed. PlayStation 3 will be closed on late 2026. In other countries, PlayStation 3 and PS Vita will be closing July 2027. So yeah, it's just that kind of just nails in right after, like we're gonna be moving all digital. But by the way, we're closing these stores, so it's kind of like at least space it out, a little too close to the recent news, I would say. Now, the community sentiment is obviously very upset about this for a lot of reasons I've stated that I could think of off the top of my head. Sony fans rally for 30,000 signatures to save PlayStation discs, but the factory retooling already signals a lost fight. And as you can see here, I read a little bit of this blog. Sony already invested $34 million in repurposing its EU PlayStation disc factory. Sony is preparing for the end of disc-based PlayStation games for quite some time, based on the report by ORF Salzburg, the regional publication of Austria's national broadcast network. So, I mean, you can go on, but this is they've already invested so much in getting rid of it. This is another thing I just found kind of humorous. Investors liked it. Sony shares rose 7% after announcing the discontinuation of game discs. So it's nails in the coffin. I mean, it was coming, but if you're even maybe we could save it, guys. No, it is fucked. It is done, It's the way, times change. Will it stop people from buying new consoles? Obviously not. Will it stop people from doing XYZ for their games? I'm going to say no. But you're going to be paying a lot more because now they can control, when you're going to be, where you could buy their storefront, how you can get it, how much more cheaper it can be as opposed to being able to buy from used places. I mean, it just kind of fucking sucks, man. And, the ownership aspect of it, knowing that you have a hard disk of it. I own this game. I like it. Sony's decision to stop producing new physical copies of PlayStation games from January 2028, despite mixed reaction from players, had a positive impact on investor sentiment. Following an announcement on July 1st, the company's shares rose by 7%. So it's and then let's look at Xbox. Let's see what they're saying, guys. Xbox is working on a new way to digitize your physical game collection as Sony abandons discs. So, I mean, let's just read the first sentence. On Wednesday, Sony announced it would no longer make physical game discs for games released after January 2028. That same day, a new report claims that Xbox is working on a way to digitize your physical game discs. The console wars never ended. Yeah, I saw reports of their new console being digital. I think I saw that somewhere, but it's all hearsay from what I understand. We'll see. But yeah, it's obviously coming. I am obviously bummed about it. It is something that we're losing. I purposely bought the disc-based PlayStation when they gave you the option. I know a lot of people want to move away from it, but there are people who like to collect them. There are game companies that I like to generally like to own their physical copies for their media. And it's cool to have them all as like a collection. I like that aspect, but it's more the costs for me, like being able to kind of go around and help people, save money in some way, shape, or form. So I will say Nintendo has not made any plans or announcements, I should say, that they're going to be canceling physical copies, and I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon for them, as far as I'm aware, But another thing I did want to add is that, like, a lot of times the PlayStation Store will still have the same price for these games on their storefront, like the full price, even if the game's years old. So yeah, again, it's the cost aspect. We are just going to be completely fucked on it. So hopefully there's something they could do on that maybe other storefronts could have more digital sales more often or something, or maybe they implement more digital sales, because the Steam sales are unbeatable. They're never going to compete with the Steam sales. It's fucking outrageously much better than anything any of the console markets, in my opinion, can offer most of the time for any of the large titles. So yeah, I don't know, man. It is a bit worrisome. There are all the benefits, people argue on the ownership of the discs, and owning the game. There are obviously way more benefits to having it in digital in some ways. Obviously, being able to just load the game like that is obviously a huge benefit. But yeah, this all sucks. We're just losing more options on to save the company money at the end of the day. So we are kind of fucked, and that's just how it is. Tell me what you guys think. If you liked the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Tell me if I missed anything or anything you want to add into that. How do you feel about that, etc. Take it easy. Have a good one. Bye.